You've been with men who are liars. You've been with men who are cheaters. You've been with men who had eyes for other women. You've been with men who are close with their exes. And it drives you crazy. The question is whether your jealousy stems from a real threat or whether your jealousy is merely a fear of repeating old mistakes. Stick around and I'll help you discover the answer. I'm Marc Katz, dating coach for smart, strong, successful women and your personal trainer for love. Welcome to the Love You podcast. Keep listening to work through your jealousy when your boyfriend has a close relationship with his ex-wife. When we're done, I'll let you know how you could apply to Love You to create a passionate relationship that makes you feel safe, heard, and understood. Story. Janice's recent Love You grad. She exited the program with a boyfriend. It's great news. Love when that happens. Janice, objectively, is beautiful, successful, smart, and in her own estimation, more than a bit bruised from her first marriage. She was with a jealous and controlling man. And so that's going to very much shade the way she looks at dating relationships and men. So let's ask a question. Why are certain men jealous? First thing I come up with off the top of my head is he's got his own insecurity about being worth your commitment. Right? Jealousy often stems from insecurity. Confident people are less likely to be jealous. So he may not be secure enough to think that he's worthy of you. And number two, and I think it goes a little psychologically deeper, is that he's got a deep-seated belief that people are inherently trustworthy because he's inherently trustworthy. In other words, men who cheat often assume that women are cheating too. But as you know, just because you've gone out with a string of liars and cheaters doesn't mean all men are liars and cheaters. That's just the men that you've chosen so far. Right? Those are the men you're attracted to. Those are the men that you've ended up with in the past. Right? Subconsciously, probably. No one's like, I'm going to go get myself a cheater. But if you're drawn to men of a certain type, it shouldn't be too hard to understand why your belief is that all men are liars and cheaters, except statistics say otherwise. 75% of marriages are untouched by infidelity. Now, that's 25% too many, but 75% is a vast majority. That doesn't square with your worldview. Let's think about how this happens. Right? And whether you have a propensity, because of the choices you've made in the past, to treat innocent men, your new boyfriend, as if they're guilty because of an old boyfriend. Well, let's look at Janice's situation and see. After 6 months in Love You, Janice saw this amazing growth. Month 1, she let go of the pain from her divorce. Month 2, she learned to date online. Month 3, she started to learn to flirt. Month 4, she learned what behaviors in boyfriends she should learn to forgive and compromise on, which ones she should let go. And in month 5, miracle of miracles, Janice lands this man who's truly her equal, which isn't easy to find. Right? But her only problem with this guy is that after 6 weeks with her, he was still having regular conversations with his ex-wife to figure out how to see his kids on Thanksgiving. And she was upset. She came to me asking what she should do. In the past, she would have said something about how inappropriate it was for him to be talking to another woman besides her. That's insecure Janice. Secure Janice, the one who connects with me regularly and Love You, had the same fearful impulse as insecure Janice, but was at least open to the concept of coaching and doing something different to get a different result. I pointed out to her, softly, gently, coldly, logically, that it was probably better for her boyfriend to have a good relationship with his ex than a bad relationship. Janice agreed. I pointed out to her that it was reasonable for a father to want to see his kids for Thanksgiving. As a single mom, Janice understood that too. I pointed out to her that it was unreasonable to expect a guy she met 6 weeks ago who wants to see his kids to completely cut off his ex-wife just because Janice was feeling some jealousy. So what we observe is that Janice's emotional impulses tend towards self-sabotage. And it was her coaching in Love You that saved her from blowing up her relationship. I'm glad to say Janice and her boyfriend are still together. And I've done a number of videos and podcasts about jealousy. But if you are still having issues with it, ask yourself. This again, you don't have to be in Love You to ask yourself this. Has my boyfriend actually done something wrong? Or am I just afraid, based on my past, that he might do something wrong? Men, just like you, just like criminals, should be presumed innocent until proven guilty, rather than guilty until they try to prove themselves innocent. Treat your man as if he's trustworthy, and you will be richly rewarded for it. Treat a good man like he's a cheater, and the only men to stick around are going to be the guys who are actual cheaters. My name is Marc Katz. Thank you for tuning into the Love You podcast. For more episodes like this on YouTube, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, choose all to ensure you get notified when new content comes out. If you're listening on the audio podcast, please share an honest review on Apple. More reviews equals more awareness of the Love You podcast and more love in the world. And if you want to find love right now and you're committed to making healthier choices with men so you could have an easy relationship where you feel safe, heard, and understood, look for the link below and apply for coaching in Love You.